Hi, Panther family. This is Miss Whyte-Otu, the grade level chair for first grade. We are so thankful for you and your students. This premiere presentation is to give you a snapshot of what your child will be learning in this year, first grade. Please allow me to share my screen with you as I go through the presentation. So here at SOG Hilliard, we are one team, and with one goal, we have no limits. First grade, we have Miss Woodard, Miss Thornton, Miss Whyte-Otu, that's myself, and we have Miss Williams. Meets the team. So that's myself, Miss Whyte-Otu, Miss Williams, Miss Woodard, and Miss Thornton. These are our special area teachers. We have Coach Sanders for PE, and the para is Coach Marshall. Then we have Miss Jackson for tag, that's our tag teacher. We have Miss Woods, the music teacher. We have Miss Ballard, and then for art, and then we have Miss Bradshaw for media. Our norms for the year, of course, our school starts at 7:40 a.m. So your child is tardy after 7:40 a.m. Students are expected to read for at least 20 minutes every night. In first grade, you can read to your child. You can just take that 20 minutes and read to your child every night, and that will also count. If there's change in transportation, we ask that you send a note to the school with your child. Students should return all books checked out from the Media Center on the day their class visits the Media Center. Students are also required now to wear masks all day and practice social distancing. Now let's go to the curriculum. We'll start with phonics. So in first grade, in phonics, we're playing with words. That is, we're making new words, trying to sound out, make new sounds, and try to write them. We're going to try to write the sounds and the new words that we make up. We'll be talking and thinking about letters. So that's like when we get a word, we read a poem or we read something from a book, we pull out words and we think about the letters in the word. What patterns are they making? What sounds do they make in that word? We're going to be learning to be word detectives. Just as like talking and thinking about words, we're going to investigate what sounds and patterns are in the word. As we decode the word, we think about it. Does this word have a blend? Does it have a diagraph? Does it have the silent E? Is this the E affecting the vowel in the sound? And all that stuff. And then we'll be building new words. So your first graders will be building words by themselves. Even as they decode words, they will be encoding, they will be putting sounds together to make words as well. In reading, we're going to learn to become avid readers. We're going to learn all the characteristics of an avid reader, like always keeping a stack of books and waiting, finding a cool, nice, quiet place to read, paying attention to the characters in your book, stepping in the characters' shoes sometimes, and feeling what they're feeling. We're also going to build good characters as readers. So as readers, we're going to learn how to take a sneak peek before we start reading, how to ask questions like who, where, what, how, before we read. And then when we read, we're going to learn how to go back and reread our favorite parts, how to go back and read to answer questions that pop up in our heads, and all that good stuff that good readers do. We are going to also meet characters and learn lessons. That means we're going to kind of make friends with our characters as we read the book, learn the character traits of the characters, listen to them as we read the book, their thoughts, their words, and the things they do to determine what our characters are like. So we'll be able to describe at the end of first grade, your child should be able to describe the characters and say that because she said this and that in this book, or she was thinking about stuff like this, it means that she is very kind, or she is mean, or she's a very friendly character. And we're also going to learn lessons. So all these books we are reading, they purpose. So aside the fact that the books give us information and sometimes entertainment, there are always lessons to learn when we read our books. And the first graders are going to be exposed to how to be able to think about what lesson am I learning in this book? What does the author want to teach me as a reader? In writing, we're going to do narrative writing, and we're going to just, in first grade, write small moment stories of our lives. So anything that happened to you, something you know well, very well to do, this is what they're going to write from the beginning. And then we're going to move on to nonfiction chapter books. So when I say nonfiction chapter books in first grade, that is not to say they're going to write very thick, like 1,000-page books. They're just going to organize their reading. Our first graders will be organizing their reading in chapters, in little bitty chapters. And then we're going to do the how-to writing, where we write about how to do something. So like how to bake a cake, how to tie your shoes, how to take care of your pet. So we're going to write how to writing. Students are going to learn how to start from the beginning, writing the things you need and the step-by-step way to do something. Then at the end of first grade, we're going to write reviews. We're going to write reviews about books we've read, just to tell somebody this was a good book, go read it. Or a review about a place we ate, a restaurant, and to be able to point out the things to say to somebody to entice them to go view whatever you're telling them to go see, or to go read, or to go visit. Then in social studies, we're going to learn where we live. We're going to learn about where we live. And talking about where we live, we're going to talk about the continent that we're in. And the continent, we're going to talk about the country. We're going to talk about the state, the city, all the way down to actually our school and the street on which we live. And then we're going to learn about the 7 continents and the 4 major oceans. From then, we're going to learn about some historical figures such as George Washington, Sacagawea, Benjamin Franklin, and Thomas Jefferson. In science, your first graders will be learning about the weather and seasons. They're going to be describing the 4 seasons and talk about the weather, how it feels outside. We're going to go investigate, go outside, and be able to put down the data and say that, okay, so we have here, and it could be in drawing or in some drawings and labels and writing sometimes, that yesterday it was really cold, it was cloudy, today it's sunny and it's hot. We're also going to talk about plants and animals, basically what plants need to survive and what animals need to survive. And then move on to light and sound. So we're going to talk about light, like sources of light, different kinds of light, and we're going to talk about sources of sound as well, the things that make sound. We're going to do a lot of investigation and some experiments with sound and light. And then the last thing we're going to do in science is magnets. Students are going to explore magnets and see what things are attracted by magnets and what things are not attracted by magnets. In math, we will be counting from 0 to 120 fluently, starting from any number. We're going to skip count by 2s, 5s, and 10s up to 120. We are going to add 1 more or 10 more to numbers. So say if I have 5, what's 1 more of 5? Or what's 10 more? Then we'll also be grouping objects by 2s, 5s, and 10s, just to teach students that when you have a bunch of objects and there are a lot of objects, when you group them maybe in 2s and 5s or in 10s, it will be easier to count. That's why we're going to start with skip counting, so that when they group their objects, instead of grouping them and still going back to count one by one, they'll can just go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, or maybe 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, or 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And that'll be easy for them when they are counting. Our students will also be able to add and subtract numbers within 20. So we're going to try and add and subtract numbers within 20. We're going to teach them various different strategies to use for counting. They are going to organize data as well. So we're going to use charts and graphs to organize data. We're going to learn attributes of 2-dimensional shapes, like to be able to, at the end of the year, they'll be able to say that a triangle has 3 sides, it has 3 angles, or a square has 4 sides and 4 angles. We are also going to do count money. So in first grade, they'll be counting dimes, nickels, and pennies. So we're going to teach them the dimes represent tens. So you count by tens when you're counting dimes. You count by 5 when you're counting nickels, and you count by ones with pennies. Our benchmark assessments will be BAS. Typically, the students should come in reading on a BAS level C, to us on a BAS level C. And by the end of the year, they should be reading on a BAS level J. iReady is the universal screener for Fulton County schools. So we're going to be screening them with iReady for math and reading. And then they'll be using iReady every day as practice for their math and their reading as well. We'll still be having unit assessments, and we'll be having common assessments just to check if they get what we are teaching before we continue. Technology resources that you can use are iReady, which the school has, the county has, and they can do at home, iReady math and reading. abcya.com, you can also use that. Sometimes we use Stafford as well. iXL is a good one too. Education Galaxy and Reading A to Z, you can get resources there, like such as books and poems and passages for students to read. So again, it's Miss Whyte-Otu, Miss Woodard, Miss Thornton, and Miss Williams. And if you have any additional questions and concerns, please feel free to email us. Our email addresses are on my screen right now. The teachers are going to provide you with these email addresses so that you can email us whenever you need us. So thanks so much for coming. We hope you have a wonderful rest of the evening. Thank you. Bye.